Good evening. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network presents the DCTV 4-H Evening News Program for Wednesday, September 12th, 2018. Camera person is Devin. Video engineer and producer is Edward. Sound engineer, Dan. Teleprompter and prompter is Myra. With news anchors, Daniel and Steva. Sativa, sorry. And meteorologist, Hannah. And this is news director, Dan, and now the news.
Welcome to the DCTV 4-H Kids Evening News Show. Help us keep our kids' news show on the air by becoming a sponsor. To buy a sponsorship, call 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. Now for the news. This story is from the Journal. Colorado's drought set to be fourth worst on record. This year's drought is one for the record books, especially for southwest Colorado. The Colorado water year, which ends October 31st, looks to be the fourth driest on record since the state began tracking water supplies 123 years ago. Southwest Colorado is expected to set a record for the lowest precipitation and the driest water year on record, according to water officials who met on Tuesday to review the state's water supplies. Statewide 2018 looks to be about the fourth driest between 1934, 2002, and 2012, with precipitation, rain, and snow about 4.55 inches below the statewide average of 16.67 inches. It has not been a good water year for most of Colorado. It started out badly with the warmest November on record, and this water year shapes up to be the third warmest on record, behind 1934 and 2000 at about 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit above the yearly average of 47.1 degrees. Southwest Colorado has been exceptionally warm, a record according to Swallowby. In addition to being exceptionally dry, Delta and Ouray counties alone were 4 degrees warmer than usual in August. Swallowby said, for example, a precipitation station at Mesa Verde National Park has recorded 7 inches of water this year. The average is about 20, he said. The one bright spot has been northeastern Colorado, which has received above average precipitation over the past 2 months, although came with a fair amount of hail that caused considerable damage to farm crops in the region. One task force member from the area said his rain gauge was dented from baseball-sized hail, something he said has never happened before. At the same time, however, they predicted the next 3 months will be above average in temperatures. Colorado reservoirs have taken major hits during the summer with higher than normal water demands, according to municipal water officials. Thornton is expected to join the list of Front Range communities with voluntary water restrictions. Colorado Springs already has voluntary water restrictions in place. Demand on reservoir storage to cover agricultural, municipal, and recreation water needs has drawn down water levels almost everywhere in the state. This story is from the Journal.
No discussion on Henry Calvin's future as Superman. Warner Brothers has no current plans for another Superman film starring Henry Cavill. A person familiar with the studio's plans said Wednesday. The person spoke on the condition of anonymity to the Associated Press because they weren't authorized to speak publicly on the matter. While no discussions have been made regarding any upcoming Superman films, We've always had great respect for a great relationship with Henry Cavill, Cavill, and that remains unchanged, the studio said in a statement. It was released after a Hollywood Reporter article said Calville's returner as the Man of Steel appeared to be ending. Warner Brothers is in the middle of remaking its DC Comics strategy following the fan and critical backlash to Justice League and Batman vs. Superman. Cavill first played Superman in 2013's Man of Steel. Representatives for Cavill didn't return messages on Wednesday. Warner Brothers' focus now is Supergirl. Other films on the horizon are the upcoming Shazam with Zachary Levi, Wonder Woman 1984, due out in November 2019, and Ezra Miller in a standalone movie for The Flash. Aquaman with Jason Momoa opens this December. A stand-alone Batman film was also once to star and be directed by Ben Affleck. Now, Matt Reeves is directing and is expected to recast the role. Now back to Daniel.
This story is from the Denver Post. Research led by CU Boulder could block E. coli, other superbugs. Kryptonite for superbugs could be on the horizon as a result of research led by the University of Colorado researchers that hinders the progress of antibiotic-resistant superbugs such as E. coli. CU researchers have created what they term the controlled hindrance of adaptation of organisms approach. It utilizes highly sophisticated DNA editing techniques to modify multiple gene expressions with the bacteria cells for the purpose of inhibiting a pathogen's central processes and blocking its ability to create defenses. Researchers believe their work could ultimately be applied more broadly, even in the field of developing cancer therapies. Multi-drug resistant pathogens which can adapt to current antibiotics more quickly than new ones can be created infect nearly 2 million people annually, resulting in at least 23,000 deaths annually in the country, according to the Centers for Disease Control. In the time you and I have been talking, multiple bugs are growing and evolving, said Anjali Chatterjee, senior author on a new paper outlining the research and an assistant professor in CU's Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering. The whole human race is in a precarious place as far as drug-resistant bacteria is concerned. Predicting the eye. This story is from the journal. Predicting the eye of Hurricane Florence from the Colorado mountains. Staring intently at the computer models spewing what some call a myriad of spaghetti plots, the scientists of National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration in Boulder are among the first to predict just how serious a developing storm like Hurricane Florence might be. Compiling data from a variety of sources, the high resolute models quickly predict if East Coasters will have to merely batten down the hatches on or head for the hills. Their work is largely research, the early stages of what eventually becomes leading-edge climatology at other NOAA stations nationwide and the National Weather Service. It nailed the Harvey forecast, said Theo Stein, a spokesman for NOAA's David Skaggs Research Center, where the experimental high-resolution rapid fresh system is located. Phonetically called HER. Every hour it ingests a boatload of data, constantly forecasting with the latest data, but it's only a 36-hour window and only in the continental U.S. That means for now the predictions that will tighten with each moment Hurricane Florence moves toward landfall aren't expected to begin until about 8 p.m. Wednesday. Their work helps the NWS issue its own predictions, warnings, and other pertinent information. It's education guesswork that gets smarter with each passing storm. In the meantime, NOAA's other experiment, Giant, the finite volume on a cubosphere, or FV3, is banging away to help forecast hurricanes so accurately that residents of impacted areas can be given warning sooner than has previously seemed possible. The FV3 is the foundation of the next generation NOAA's forecast global model. Stein said it has produced some storm track projections for the storm Florence that compare really well to the European model. Early reports say that model, known as European Medium Range Forecast Model and one of the premier global forecast units, is having its own troubles figuring out what Florence is going to do with landfall predictions, windshield wiping between North Carolina and South Carolina. And now back to Lativia. Stevia? I'm not sure.
Sativa. Hunting dumb laws in Arizona. Hunting camels is prohibited. Any misdemeanor committed while wearing a red mask is considered a felony. There is a possible 25 years in prison for cutting down a cactus. Donkeys cannot sleep in bathtubs. It is illegal to manufacture imitation cocaine. When being attacked by a criminal or burglar, you may only protect yourself with the same weapon as the other person possesses. It is unlawful to refuse a person a glass of water. In Hayden, if you bother the cottontails or bullfrogs, you will be fined. In Maricopa County, no more than 6 girls may live in one house. In Mojave County, a decree declares that anyone caught stealing soap must wash him or herself with it until it is all used up. In Nogales, an ordinance prohibits the wearing of suspenders. thing keeps on popping out. In Prescott, no one is permitted to ride their horse up the stairs of a county courthouse. In Temple, one must be 18 years old to buy spray paint. In Tombstone, it is illegal for men and women over the age of 18 to have less than one missing tooth visible when smiling. Now is our weather report with Anna.
Our current weather data comes from the DCTV weather station located in the beautiful downtown Dove Creek. The current temperature is 84 degrees. Today's high was 84 degrees. The low was 57 degrees. The barometer is at 29.65 inches and is falling. The humidity is at 12%. Wind is between 1 and 14 miles per hour from the west. Gusts have been up to 36 miles per hour. There were 0.00 of an inch of rain measured today by the DCTV weather station. Moisture for the month is 0.65 of an inch. Moisture accumulation for the year is 4 inches and 85 hundredths. Now for the big map, courtesy of the National Weather Service. There is a low over the Oregon coast, wrong way, and 2 highs over the southwest. Rain is falling from Oregon into Washington across the north of the nation into Minnesota. South central New Mexico has a small area of rain. South central. 3 highs are scattered across the center to the north of the country. Rain begins at the tip of Texas and across the Gulf Coast to the north into Florida and into the Maine. In Maine. Across Texas, along the Texas part of the Gulf of Mexico, here is a chance of floods. Here's a chance of flash floods. Here is our exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. Thursday, high 81, low 51. Friday, sunny, high 81, low 54. Saturday, mostly sunny, high 83, low 56. Sunday, mostly sunny, high 82, low 54. Monday, mostly sunny, high 81, low 54. Now for our climate change report. CO2 carbon dioxide is considered a greenhouse gas and is one of the principal causes of climate change. CO2 traps heat in the atmosphere, which causes climate instability. The result is significant swings worldwide of hot and cold temperatures, but the general climate trend is that the planet is slowly warming. Therefore, it is important that we report the CO2 weekly change. The following are the CO2 numbers in parts per million. Last week, 405.47. 2 weeks ago, 406.26. Last year, 403.92. 10 years ago, 383.48. 50 years ago, 325.57. Thank you, Dr. Peter Tanz of the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration, and Michael McGee of the CO2.Earth website for providing this information. Remember, you can help keep our Kids News Show on air by buying a sponsorship. To buy a sponsorship, just call 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. Thank you. Now back to our news director.
That's the end of today's DCTV 4-H Evening News Program. This is your news director, Dan, saying good night and thank you for watching.